Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a beautiful Thursday morning. Yay, it's Thursday. And for those of you who don't know, I don't work Fridays, so this is like my Friday. It's already, really? It's already 19 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which makes it 66 already. Yikes. What have they done to my road? 66 already, and they have 66 in American. And already there is a problem. I'm running late this morning. I'm sure none of you have ever done it, but for some reason I really thought that I could just turn over and chill for a couple of minutes before I got out of bed. Well, I did the turnover, and I certainly did chill. For about half an hour that I shouldn't have done. So, and now I'm in a traffic jam, and I don't know why. Now, the trick is not to panic. There's one thing I always used to say when I was younger. Which is, if you're going to be late, be seriously late. Right, don't be 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late. Because 5 or 10 minutes means you just were slow. But if you're seriously late, they're inclined to believe your story. So, I'm sort of halfway between the two of those. And I just called in to let them know I am on my way. Seriously? It's construction, of course, right? Of course. What else would it be for me, right? It's summer. Now, this is the first day that they've had this part of the road up for construction. Okay, breathe, Sal, breathe. It's going to be just fine, eventually. It's not what I'm feeling right now. I want to go up there and have a little word with the flag person and say both sides are meant to go, not just one. Oh, there we go. Must have heard me. It's not that I'm selfish. Well, maybe, when I'm late. Now, I don't know if any of you have had this happen where you're in a construction zone where they're stopping traffic periodically, and they stop it just as it's your turn to go. I always find I take that very personally. I don't know about the rest of you. I'm sort of having a little praying moment here that doesn't happen. Oh, I know why the road looks so strange. They've just cut away half of it. One thing I will say is that flag people, you know, the people that hold up those stupid slow and go signs, they always have a very good suntan around about this time of year. I dread to think what they must look like when they take their clothes off, because it is only up to a certain level of their body. So they must look really stupid when they go out and sunbathe. I'd never thought about that before. They've got like a golfer's tan, right? That is really quite funny now that I think about it. I have this vision, and it's not pretty. Not pretty at all. Part of a car hanging off there. Alright, so, what is news? I'm very, very happy to have Mickey back. And It was really, I think the thing that really amused me yesterday was when I said to the shop, I said, could you just look back and see when was the last time I spent some serious coin with you guys? I'm not talking, you know, a couple of $100, which was, you know, for a service and a bit, but when did I last spend, you know, some serious money? And it was amazing that it was 2010. So I think that's my reality in a lot of ways, which is if you're going to buy anything, buy the best you can. When I say the best you can, I always, you know what I look for? I know this sounds really strange. I look for how many old so-and-sos, whatever that make of car is, are there on the road today? You know, how many old Jeeps do you see? Quite a few. And the reason for that is because they were well built. You don't see as many certain other cars, if you know what I mean. And I could go through a list, but what I look for is, you know, like you always see a lot of old Volvos. Why? They last. Still can't believe they took that house down. It's a very pretty property now. So that's one way of sort of checking what they're now. To be fair, what was a very solid car 10, 20 years ago might not be a very solid car today, because their quality control may have changed completely, or the materials that they're using may have changed completely. So, just the way. Now, it was really nice that I heard this week from a couple of viewers. I heard from Kirsty and her mom, Lori. And the reason I heard was because Kirsty has been in a very serious car accident. And the good news is she was not outwardly injured. And I say it that way because she's still in the process of finding out whether she is inwardly injured in as much as things like soft tissue damage and so forth. And I got an opportunity to speak with Kirsty this week and to speak with her mom Lori. And the reason that I wanted to do that is because I have been in an accident where I apparently did no damage. And in fact, I was all too quick to say I'm fine, and I never went and got properly checked out, and I never went and did all the things I was meant to do. And the strange thing was that 20 years later, they found out that the problems I'd been having for the past 20 years were all due to that accident, when I went to a chiropractor who actually x-rayed the whole of my spine and looked at me and said, my gosh, you were in a very serious car accident. And then said, don't tell me, let me check here. And she looked at something and then turned around and said 20 years ago, roughly. And I said, yep, you're absolutely right. How on earth did you know? And she said, by the damage to your spine. And what has subsequently happened to your spine because of it? Well, you feel like a bit of a banana right there. You know, so like, oh my gosh, it's that obvious. And she said, what I don't understand is you must have done a lot of damage to your, not only to that part of your spine, but your hips must have been in a terrible position because of it. Because, you know, there's a ripple effect. And I said, oh yeah, they were. And she said, well, that sounds like you really know about that? And I said, oh yeah, I really know about that. And she said, well, because, I said, because for probably 5 years of my life, it was so painful for me to drive anything more than half an hour that I used to buy a bag of, you know, the big bags of ice that you buy at the gas station. I literally used to buy one of those and pack myself in ice round my hips to drive. And she said, and you never thought that that was a problem? And I, no. Anyway, so the thing that I wanted to say was what an incredible couple of people Kirsty and Lori are. They've got some... Okay, seriously, guy? Got a guy in front of me that's turning left. Why doesn't he go into the left-hand lane? Oh, I see. Because he's got his left-hand indicator up for amusement. He's going straight. Yeah, right. Richard. So anyway, what I found amazing was their mentality. They were both perfectly calm and very positive and doing all the right things. They'd been to a lawyer, they were being checked out, Kirsty was being checked out medically. But the saddest part of this story is that their son has cerebral palsy, and the van that Kirsty was driving was this vehicle that they transport him in, and you can't get that replaced in a heartbeat. You can't just, you know, go to the store and get one of those. And so there's a lot of stuff going on around here that, you know, really brings extra stress to the family. And yet they were so incredibly upbeat in terms of their mentality and conversation. Now, I'd love to believe it was just because they were talking to me, but I don't believe that that's what it was at all. I think it's that they're people in the world that just deal with things differently. And obviously, Lori has done it all her life, and she has taught Kirsty to do it as well. Which is, it is what it is, let's move on with it and let's do something about it. However, what I did was I asked permission to talk about their story, and got it, because after I had spoken with Kirsty for some time, I then addressed Lori. Now, I don't know if any of you can see this picture in your mind, but here you've got a mother who already has the day-to-day caregiving situation with her son, and now has her daughter in a serious vehicle accident, and now loses the vehicle that transports the son. Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work out that that will have had some impact on Lori the mother. And so one of the things that I said was, you know, it was really important that she gets checked out if she can, and if she cares about herself enough, because that sort of stress level is compounding. All right, it wasn't just that a car got totaled, or a van, but that van, you know, was the only means of transport for their son, stroke brother, to say nothing of the fact that the damage that has possibly been done to the daughter. You know, this thing compounds. And whose shoulders is it all dropping onto? The mother's, Lori. And so, as I started to talk about this, you could just see her discounting what I was saying, not out of being rude or anything, just because, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. And I said, you know, I need you to listen to me for a second. I believe you, but I'd like you to stay that way. And the only way that you're going to do that is to get yourself checked out, and also to spend some time looking after you. Get away from the day-to-day stress of your life. And it was so funny because she discounted it again, and this time, those of you who know me well know I have this thing that I do, which is quack, 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 whenever you're ducking a question or ducking anything. And I just sat there and went quack, quack, quack. And then I had to explain why I was doing it, because it was quite funny. And, you know, it took a while, but eventually Lori owned it. And she said, yeah, actually, you're right. That is what I'm doing. I'm so busy being strong, I'm not caring about myself at all. And I said, exactly. So go to a spa, you know, go do something that is totally for you. You need to settle your brain down from the level of stress that it's under. Otherwise, you could end up the one that is incapacitated. And what effect will that have on the family? And the reason that I asked to tell the story was because I know that there are a lot of caregivers and very caring mums that listen to Dear Mama Sal. And I asked permission to talk about it because it's a story that I see repeated time and time again. They say that with Alzheimer's patients, for example, the statistics say that the caregiver will not outlast the patient in a lot of cases. And the reason for that is because the stress of looking after an Alzheimer's patient. And that constant stress will put the caregiver into physical distress and disease. If you think about it, the word disease is dis-ease. And if you're in dis-ease enough, you know, it has medical repercussions. So I just thought it was a really good thing to remind people of, which is it's okay to be brave and it's okay to be the rock for your family. And it doesn't matter whether you're a mum or not. I know at least one of my viewers is not a mum, she's the daughter, but she's the rock. From everything I can hear about her, she's the rock for the family. The family all turns to her for stability and for being the fixer. And I'm very pleased to say that that one particular viewer heard me on that, and she actually went and got some help for her. And now she is learning how to set those boundaries and look after herself better, which is awesome. So I just encourage you all to do this, regardless of whether you're a caregiver or not. Take time to just be with you. As some of you know, I was in a situation where I was working all Monday to Friday, and then I was doing DearMamaSal, 2 broadcasts and stuff on a Friday. Oh, I got an itch. 2 broadcasts and stuff on a Friday, and then I'd be working on it Saturday and Sunday, and then I go back to work again. And, you know, I did it for about 2.5 years, and then I realized, you know something? I need a day where I don't have to perform. I need a day where I don't have to edit or do whatever. Now the funny thing is, I still do stuff for Dear Mama Sal on the Saturday when I feel like it, because now I am doing my clean the house thing and I'm recording it, so it's still stuff for Dear Mama Sal. But it's about me. I am taking time to do what I need to do. And the fact that I'm recording it is just the benefit of the viewers. So you can laugh at the dirt in my house. And you've been very polite about that, and I thank you. By the way, for those of you who heard me discuss the other day about cleaning up the t-shirts, and I've got so many of them, and packing half of them away at least, and giving them to Dougie to take to his family. I'm actually going to try and do that this weekend. Because I'm not sure when he's next going, but I will be seeing him. Oh, not next weekend. I'll be in Vlogger Fair next weekend. Who am I kidding? Not this weekend, the following one. Huh, okay, that's good. Anyway, so I am going to pack them up and a few other things. Wow, it's a very pretty looking convertible Porsche. Oh, to be young enough to drive one again. I know I'm still young enough to drive one, but I'll look stupid. It's funny, isn't it, that older men, can drive convertibles, but if an older woman is driving one, it looks really weird. Why is that? It's a nice memory I have of my mom, funnily enough, that all her life, when I was growing up in the, what I call the mini Downton Abbey thing, she always drove Jaguars. She always had the smaller Jaguar. And then when my stepfather died, and she came out to live with me in Africa, when we went to get her a car, what she wanted was a sports car. She'd never been allowed to have a sports car. She had to drive a Jaguar. I thought that was really quite cute. So we got her, a pretty, not a sports car, but a sporty looking sports car. And it was really, ooh, that's a big television sitting on the side of the road. A really nice, fun thing to drive, and she did, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, everybody, so here's the trick. The word for the day, if I can connect two words, would be self-care. Look after you today. And I don't mean just for today, I mean really concentrate in the next little while on looking after you. You work out. I heard a really nice thing on something that I looked at yesterday. I can't remember what it was. And it said, take a coffee break. Go, take the time to go and have a nice coffee in a coffee shop. And sit quietly with a notepad and paper, and while you drink your coffee, write down what looking after you would look like. I think it was talking about what, your ultimate goal would look like. But I think if you take the time to go to a coffee shop, if you like coffee, and if you don't, then go to a tea shop. But go somewhere that's away from home, where you don't have to worry about telephone calls or any distractions, and just sit and think. Now some of you may want to just go to the beach or something, go look out on the ocean if you're in a position to do that, or even go and sit in a place of nature and just concentrate on what do I need to do to look after me. So this is Dear Mama Sal, encouraging to do that. Bye bye for now.